Hi, second grade. Welcome back to Wit and Wisdom. We are on lesson 26 already. Today, we are going to watch a really neat and short video about a couple different kinds of gardens. And by the end of this, we are going to be able to tell about how nourishing food can be grown in gardens. So the video that we're going to watch is called Planting Seeds, the White House Garden, and a Brooklyn School Farm. Now, if you've heard of the White House before, tap your head. Okay, the White House is in Washington, D.C., and it's where the president lives and does his or her work. So this video was made when Barack Obama was the president, and his wife, the First Lady, Michelle Obama, wanted to start a garden. So you'll get to see kind of some of their work. And then the second part of the video is showing a school farm in Brooklyn, which is a city in New York. So before I get too much farther, I do want to let you know that your secret code word today is garden, since we are going to be watching a video all about gardens. All right, let's go ahead and watch this video. So they wanted to bring people together and teach them about healthy foods. And it says the White House Garden planted over 50 varieties of produce. So that means they're planting 50 or more different types of fruits, vegetables, flowers, things like that.
The First Lady wanted to plant this garden and see how well is the reaction going to be. And, you know, I had a sense it was going to be a big deal, but it completely blew us away. We just harvested some spinach, which is like candy. Yep. So sweet. We have bok choy and tatsoi. We have kale and lettuces. And
so, wow, just already he mentioned kale, bok choy, he said spinach, different kinds of lettuce. So that's like 4 or 5 different varieties just right there.
And minzuna, broccoli, little heads of broccoli.
How many of you have tried broccoli before? I remember in the lunchroom, a lot of you said you didn't like it, but if you've tried it, tap your head. Okay.
And so that'll be in for a couple more weeks, and then we'll get ready for our spring planting.
I mean, look at this lettuce. I mean, this is just from winter. You know, you're not supposed to grow any food here. And this is going to be a lot of, this is.
So he said this is from winter. Now, did you know that you could grow gardens in the winter? If you do it right, you can actually do some gardening. So they had to really protect the soil. They had those little covers, those little tents over it, and they had to make sure things, you know, stayed warm and healthy. But wow, I didn't know that was possible. It's really cool.
A lot of food. The reaction across the country was just overwhelming, and around the world. And so when the First Lady goes to like the G20 or all these international summits, that's all they want to talk to her about is this garden. I mean, I think something we don't remember, we can easily forget is the world is watching this garden.
So he says the world is watching this garden. You know, we look to the president and the First Lady to be leaders and representatives of our country, the United States of America. And so when you have the First Lady saying, I want to plant a garden, but then you see her right here, you can imagine that, you know, other people are like, wow, what a cool thing to do. We want to do that. And maybe they have all these questions about it. So really, they were leading by example and teaching other people how to garden and how to live a healthier lifestyle, which is very cool.
A tool to teach the high school students sustainable agriculture and public health and environmental health.
It is a very fun thing to do.
Okay, so this says it's Cassandra. She's a student at this school. She says it's a very fun thing to do. What do you think is fun about having a garden? Think about that. Maybe you've never planted one, or maybe you have. What do you think would be fun about planting a garden? I've planted lots of gardens, big and small. I have some plants on my balcony right now, and something that I think is really fun about it is just watching something grow. You know, you're putting your hands in the dirt, you're putting the plant in there. You have to water it, make sure it gets the sun, and that it's really taken care of. And to watch something grow from little to big, or watch something get flowers on it, or even vegetables or fruits that you can eat, it is fun. It's really cool.
It's very educational. You learn a lot of things, and it helps you.
She also says it's educational. Remember, education is, when you learn something. What do you think is educational? What do you think is educational about this garden? Maybe you're learning about different kinds of food that you've never tried before. Maybe you didn't know how to plant a garden. Maybe you didn't know that you could put the seed in the dirt and that you had to take care of it, or pull weeds out of it, or water it as much as you did, right? There's so many things you could learn. So it really is educational.
Lose weight, you exercise a lot, and you're just here with a lot of people that you love.
The community has very limited access to fresh produce and very limited access to any kind of health restaurant. So if they're going out to lunch, they're getting fried chicken, they're getting French fries, and that's about it.
There's a lot of food deserts here.
Okay, this student just said food desert, and I'm guessing you guys haven't heard that term before. When you talk about a food desert, it's an area that doesn't have a lot of access to like real fresh food. So maybe it's far away from a grocery store or any farms or any place where you could get like real produce, real fruits and vegetables. Maybe there's a convenience store or a gas station where you can pick up snacks and sodas and, sugary treats. But there's not a lot of access to real food. And that is actually a problem that we see in urban areas too. So if you live in the Minneapolis area, maybe you live in an area that's not really close to a grocery store. And so you might live in a food desert too.
And you have to go in car to get fresh food. It takes a long time, a lot of money wasted.
I've had a couple students come up to me and say that they've lost 10 pounds by engaging in the farm, doing farm work, and eating.
She said students lost weight. They lost like 10 pounds. I wonder why that would be a good thing, or how they did it. What do you think? Well, it's like exercise, right? So if you are working in a garden, you're doing exercising, it's, being outside, being active. And we know that obesity is a real big problem in the United States. And if you're eating, fast food or sugary food or things that aren't as good for you, if all of a sudden you're being able to eat these foods from the garden and you're changing your diet a little bit, you can lose weight and become healthier. So that's really exciting for those students.
Slightly different. And then I've had other students who told me they've become vegetarians.
She said that some students have become vegetarians. Do you know what that is? Put your finger on your nose if you've heard of vegetarian. Yeah, so a vegetarian is someone that doesn't eat meat. So they don't eat chicken, they don't eat hamburgers, they don't eat bacon, right? So they're choosing to have only a plant-based diet. Thumbs up if you'd try that. I did for a while. I did for about a year. Wasn't very good at it, but if you really like fruits and vegetables and you really like cooking your own food, a vegetarian can be a really great diet.
All making slight changes in their diets and in their lifestyles based on what we're doing.
Obesity is one of the major problems in the United States right now. And if we have fresh foods, it could be lowered. I myself used to be obese when I was younger, and I wasn't really that aware of processed foods or what was good and what wasn't.
My favorite comment that I got was from a girl who said to me, I go home every day and I tell my mom what we did. And what that means is she's going home and she's eating with her mom and she's more engaged in cooking with her mom. She's asking larger questions about where her food comes from.
Why do you think that would be important to ask about where your food comes from? Why would that be important? Do you know where your food comes from? Right. So knowing where your food comes from might make you appreciate it a little bit more. I think that if you grow your own food, especially, you really appreciate it. but knowing what goes into your food. That one of the students talked about processed foods, and the more processed something is, the less healthy it is for you. So knowing where your food comes from and if it's processed or if there's a lot of extra sugar in it can really help you to make a healthy choice when you're eating.
It's really exciting.
And it's pretty fascinating. You see gardens going up all over the country. Thousands and thousands of gardens being planted in schools and community gardens and in people's homes. And I think that connection, that we're re-establishing that connection that's been lost, and it's having a real impact.
So what's the connection between the garden at the White House, done by Michelle Obama, and this garden, this little farm in Brooklyn that some students are doing? What's the connection? What do they have in common? Think about that. What makes them the same? Right. People are learning things and people are benefiting from it. They are learning to make healthy choices. They are learning how to grow their own food. They are learning about maybe different fruits and vegetables that they've never heard of before. So both of these gardens are really neat opportunities for learning and engaging and being outside and making healthier choices. It's super cool. So I hope that you enjoyed this video today. I did want to remind you that your secret code word today is garden. And I just had one last question for you. Do you think it would be fun to plant and take care of garden? Why or why not? So think about that, and I want you to talk to somebody in your family today about this video you watched and tell them if you think it would be fun to plant a garden and why. All right, second grade, hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I did. See you later.